a little. Okay. I'm just adjusting my camera so we can get into this tea. Hi, how y'all doing? Welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for checking me out. If you haven't met me before, my name is Kile J. I use they, them pronouns. And today, I'm gonna be your gay sex ed teacher, okay? Oh, these glasses kind of make my eyes look big. Wait. I'm talking about this because I grew up in Houston, Texas, and sex ed was really not giving anything that is inclusive of people besides straight people. My sex education was literally, this is a vagina, and this is a penis. Like, that was it. That was the bulk of it. So I feel like there needs to be more of awareness of like sex for people who aren't straight and cisgendered. And, you know, we all have sex. We grown as fuck. Like, I'm in my 30s, bitch. Like, I be getting it in, you know, you be getting it in too. Like, how the fuck you think you got here? You think you just fell out the sky and landed in Detroit? People procreated to make this happen, and it should be something that isn't shameful. Sex is something that we all do. It's a part of life. It's human nature. And so I'm going to just get into the tea. I'm going to try to give you some tips on how to have better sex, specifically for gay folks. Like, it's a mess out here in these streets, okay? And I do want to say that this is for entertainment purposes only. I am not a licensed sex ed person. So if it applies to your situation, feel free to use this advice. If it doesn't, don't. But before we get into that, I just want to let you know that I do have a sale for my store. It is 20% off for Cyber Monday. My products are queer affirming, and every purchase goes to support diverse LGBTQ plus artists. So what you waiting for? Go ahead and check it out. You can check it out at dvrsstudios.patternbyetsy.com. Okay. Let's get back to the video. Okay, so the first thing I want to talk about when speaking on the 5 tips for better gay sex, the prostate and penetration. It's so funny because the most pleasurable part of a man's body is in his asshole. Like, God was really playing tricks on straight people. Like, like, you ain't never gonna be able to experience this, boo. But the gays, honey, we know what time it is, okay? The prostate is very important. And it's funny because these niggas out here can find a way to make $1 million, but they can't find the prostate no matter how hard they try. Like, and in order to access that shit, you gotta literally go up through the booty hole. Like,
girl, that's a booty hole.
You gotta get up in there, you know, you gotta get in where you fit in. And it requires patience. It requires, like, y'all really gotta slow down. Like, y'all be trying to ram it up in there and that's never gonna work. So in order to have better penetration so that you can access the prostate, the number one thing you need is lube. The more lube, the better. Like, you really got to get some really good lube. The thing I use is Swiss Navy. That Swiss Navy is that girl. I'm not sponsored. They can cut me a check, though. Like, hello, Swiss Navy. Get into it. What you need to do is you got to lube it up. And if it's your first time bottoming, you really need to practice. I would recommend you go get you a little dildo. Go get you a little starter kit from the sex store. If you're in a major city, you should have sex stores all around you. If you're not, you can buy it online. So before your first sexual experience, I would just like practice. It takes the shame out of it and it lets you know like what you can expect. So yeah, just practice up, lube it up, stick it in there, play around with it. And the main way you can access your prostate is, I don't really have no access. I can't do it myself, but you need to cut your fingernails and you need to just put some lube on your finger in the shower. Do one of these motions when you're sticking it in and that will literally get you the access to it. And you'll know when you feel it, because when you feel it, it's like... Bitch, we in the Matrix, like you just went to an alternative reality where everything is rainbows and butterflies. Like, make sure you clean it out. You know, you can get you a little enema bowl, clean it out real good, first and foremost. Once you feel comfortable in your own body, then you can go in the bedroom and be like, okay, this is how I want it. Like, okay, you gotta do it like this. You gotta take it slow. So the main tips for this one is warm it up. Experiment with your own body. Play around in the shower. When you're with your partner, go slow. Use lubrication. And remember, it is a marathon, not a race. Lastly, before I move on, use condoms. Like, be safe about it. If you're not using condoms, make sure you're on PrEP. If you don't know how to get PrEP, I'm going to put some resources in my description, so make sure you check that out below. But yeah, you want to just be safe out here in these streets. Like, you don't know where these niggas is coming from. Like, protect your neck. Number 2, this goes back to some of the stuff I was talking about before, but communication is key. Like, if you don't communicate what's going on with you, these people cannot read your mind. They can probably gauge your body language. Like, if you're like in a fetal position, like crying, like I guess that means it wasn't the best experience. But you want to avoid all that by just saying what's going on with your body. You know, a lot of people think that sex is just penetration, but it's not. It's the warm up to it. It's the intimacy. It's body language. And you can have great sex without penetration. So if something's going on during the act, you can be like, hey, Kay, we need to stop. We need to take a break for a second. Let's do something else. Let's fool around. You can be creative. Say what's going on with you so you can have a pleasurable experience. And it might seem a bit scary at first. I think ways you can go about this is just being like, babe, you know, I really love the way you... Flip me around again like that, yeah. Or you could be like, don't put my head on the ground like that again. On the flip side, you could say like, hey, pick up the pace. Like, you're going a little, like, okay, grandpa, like, hello, wake up. Like, I know you flew me out here and paid all my bills and stuff. Like, I know you my sugar daddy, but like, come on, like, you know what I mean? Just communicate how you're feeling in the moment. Communicate what's going on. And that will lead you to an overall better, more pleasurable experience. Number 3, aftercare. This is so important. When it's over, it doesn't mean, okay, get up, get out of my house, like, bye. Like, I mean, that happens a lot, but is that cool? I don't know. It depends on whatever floats your boat. Like, I can't really tell you what you can do in your bedroom, but for me, like, I just like to take a beat, maybe cuddle a little bit. Cuddling is key, especially if you're dating somebody that's a water sign. We love to cuddle. Like, please just give me some love. You can kiss a little bit. Part of aftercare is talking about what just happened and discussing, like, what did you like? What didn't you like? What could be better the next time? And I know it sounds kind of awkward, but there's ways that you can talk about it where it's still sexual, it's still romantic. Don't put my head on the ground like that again. I know I said my neck, my back, but that does not mean you can break my neck, nigga. Like, and you will have a much better experience next time, or you will enhance on what you liked before. Number 4, roles and positions. I'm still not really into like the whole I'm a top, I'm a bottom, I'm verse type of thing. It's very heteronormative. It kind of puts you in this like heteronormative space with somebody like, oh, I'm a bottom, I'm femme. Like, oh, I'm mass, so I'm a top. Like, I'm not really super into it, but I think if you are more so attracted to receiving the love, then maybe bottom is a good fit for you. If you're more so attracted to giving the love, maybe a top is a good fit. If you're more so just you go with the flow, like it is what it is, like one day you're bottom, one day you're top, like you might be verse. I thought I was verse for 2 seconds, but then I was like, no, I never want to do that again. I'm never, it's not really my gig, you know. Understanding what position you are can help you have a better time in the bedroom because you know what to expect, you know what you want, you know what the other person wants. But also, I do feel like if you meet somebody and maybe they're like a bottom and you're a bottom, it doesn't necessarily have to be like the end all be all to your relationship. Like maybe y'all can just see how it goes. But what did my homegirl say on post? She was like, what y'all gonna do, bump uglies? Like, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. So just see what works best for you. And then you can say, oh, I'm like more so verse or I'm a bottom. Or also there is a new term out there called a side, which is somebody who doesn't want a bottom or top. They just prefer oral, which is totally valid as well. Also in sex, there is roles. This kind of comes from like kink culture. Like you can be more dominant as a top and you need like a passive bottom. And I know it sounds like a lot, like it's kind of confusing. Like I'm like, okay, wait, hold on, honey. 2 + 2 = 4, bitch, and it's like 5 + 5. It's like 1 + 1 = 2. It's like okay, but it kind of allows you to spice up how you act in the bedroom. Like if you're a dom top, you're just like, oh, give it something. But if you're more of a passive top, you like, okay, can you arch your back a little bit, like bend it back a little bit, you know, it just allows you to be more specific. Sex should be pleasurable and enjoyable. So regardless of your role or your position, just do what feels the best in the moment. Number 5, kinks and foreplay. In the queer community specifically, there's like a lot of different kinks. Leather, some people like furries, some people are into spandex, some people are into feet. It's really cool if you're into that, but if your other person is not into that, it doesn't really matter. So it's difficult to discuss your kinks with somebody you're meeting for the first time. I guess the main way you can work around it is like, if you're meeting this person through the app, maybe you can discuss your sexual kinks and preferences beforehand, and then when they get there is no surprises. Because the worst thing you want to do is like, you show up to a nigga's house in a bunny outfit and they're like, wait, what's going on? Like, communication is key. I cannot say it enough when you're trying to have a pleasurable sexual experience. You also need to explore foreplay. And this can look different in a lot of ways. Can you give your partner a massage before you get into the act? Can you put on some smooth and comforting music? I like to play like D'Angelo. Can you play something like that? Or, I mean, some people like to have sex to Nicki Minaj, which is like, okay, it's low-key like a turn off. Like I remember somebody one time was like playing like when they're trying to get in the mood, and I'm like, I'm gonna leave now. Like this, it's time to go. I think foreplay is just intentional things you can do with your partner before the actual experience that will get them more aroused and will help them feel more comfortable with you in their presence. You know, all sex is valid, whether it's gay sex or straight sex, or if you're a queer person having sex, if you're trans having sex, like all sex is valid and there should be education on all of it. I'm talking about this openly on the internet because I feel like it's my right to do so, and if it's my right to do so, I'm gonna do it. I hope you found this video informative. You know, if you're having sex out here in these streets, just make sure you're taking care of yourself, and always make sure you're advocating for your safety and your pleasure. Get your freak on, girl. Now I'm going to talk about some clear ways that you can support me. Number 1, I am an independent artist, and I recently put out a project called Honey. My music is available on Spotify, Apple Music, on YouTube, so go ahead and check it out. Give me some streams, run it up. Number 2, again, check out my store. I do have a sale right now. Everything is 20% off. As soon as you order the product, I'm shipping it right out. I'm not playing with these shipping speeds, okay? Everything is really good quality, and every purchase goes to supporting not only me, but other diverse LGBTQ plus artists in my community. Number 3, you can follow me on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. All of my socials are at Kyle Atwater. And number 4, if you feel like donating, feel free to drop some coin in my Venmo. My Venmo is at Kyle Atwater, and my Cash App is Kyle Atwater1. Make sure you subscribe to this channel, girl. I'm gonna drop a video every motherfucking week, God willing. Technology's a bitch, but I am being consistent because I have a lot to say. Y'all about to listen to what my tea is, okay?